Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you, it always is. I hope you're doing well. We've got the round of 16 over in the Cincinnati Masters for us today. As always, we'll be sure to go through each and every one of these matches that we've got. If you get your comments in with your predictions as we go, and if there's anything that I'm going for personally, it'll be in that pinned comment where it always is. And you do it that as you please. You can take it if you want, you can leave it if you must. It is entirely up to you. But before we get started, I'm going to ask you to like the video if you'd be so kind. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not already. It would be an honour to welcome you to the squad. We continue to grow each and every day, getting close to that 2.5k now, folks, so do get yourself involved. I would appreciate that. But very well, now all that is said and done, let me know, how did you get on yesterday? There was nothing official from me. Didn't really fancy the look of anything yesterday. We did have some really good matches, some decent results, as we've had all week. But share with the group, did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? Now all that shite's out the way, let's get down to business. Let's get it on. Right, so first off today, we've got Big Foe and Auger Rune. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait for this. This is one of the two that I'm really excited for today. I think we could be in for a close one. I think we could be in for a rather close one indeed. These have played each other just the once before, and it just so happens it was in this very tournament last year, Cincinnati Masters 2024. That's right, semi-finals, Big Foe, 2-1. Close game then. Like I said, I think it could be a close one now. 6-4 in the first set last year for Auger Rune, and then we got a 6-1 and a tie-break from the American in the second and third. Happy days. Just a bit too strong. Just a bit too strong on the day for Auger Rune. I think both of them have been fairly decent so far this week. Both of them getting the first two games done in straight sets. Auger Rune got past Roman Safiullin and then got past Alex Michelsen. Somewhat routine wins, the pair of them. Same could be said for Francis Tiafoe. Carbias Baena was never really going to be much of a threat to the American over in Cincinnati. And then Ugo Humbert, he did pose somewhat of a threat. Took the serve off him, he came out flying, came out absolutely flying as soon as the match started. And I don't know what happened to him. He looked like he may have been injured or something. He played really good, and then he played really shit, and Big Foe just took over and managed to maintain a level that wouldn't have been that difficult to maintain to beat Ugo Humbert on the day, I must say. It's a shame. I'm not proud to admit it, but we did say, didn't we? You'd only have to look at Big Foe in that matchup, given what we've seen so far. I'm somewhat leaning towards Auger Rune, but let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Let's hold our horses. I mean, it still stands. What I said yesterday, it still kind of stands today. It's a bit of a task to take out Big Foe over in the States, especially over in Cincinnati. These conditions, these outdoor conditions can be rather tricky to play in. Very quick. They're very quick indeed. He does tend to thrive on such surface. Personally, I think Auger Rune's a better tennis player than Big Foe. I really do. On the day, if we got premium Rune and premium Foe, I think Auger Rune just edges it out. He may not be better by much, not by a country mile by any means, but he's definitely got more tools in the bag. 100% he's got more tools in the bag. Big Foe can be somewhat, not solely dependent, but he can be very dependent on that first serve, and that's no secret. It's a big part of his game. It's very tough to deal with. What are the odds on this? You may ask. Bookies have got this. Well, it's close. Call it 1.7 for Auger Rune. I kind of agree. Like I just said, there's not much to separate them. I do think Auger Rune is, if anything, just the better player on the day. So for him to be a slight favourite in a matchup like this does kind of make sense to me. Now, depending where you look. So, Bet365, this opened up at 1.8 for Auger Rune. He's now at 1.73. Over at Betfair, this opened up at 1.54. And now it's at 1.7. But maybe that's just kind of neutralised itself overnight. I'd be leaning with an over, I don't think the over 22.5 is going to give you a fair enough price today. I think they're expecting a little bit more than that. I think 23 or even the 23 and a half. It's the exact same. If it goes over 23, it's over 23 and a half in it. So you can get that around 1.9, maybe touching around evens on the exchange, providing you're kind of lucky. I think that'd be the way I'd be looking. As a parlay piece, either one of these for a set does seem rather sweet. Obviously, you'd be getting at a slightly better price with Big Foe for the set. Given the outcome in last year's Masters, I would assume Big Foe can be decent enough for the set. He could probably even win this one. He'll have the crowd behind him. That tends to work wonders for Francis Tiafoe over in the States. Am I brave enough to do it? It's kind of a double-edged sword because I kind of want Holger Rune to win. I would love Holger Rune to win this one, but it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. You can't fuck about today. He needs to turn up, be about his business. No fucking about from Holger Rune. He should be able to see this one out. I'm going with the over. I like Holger Rune. I'm more than aware of the dangers that Big Foe possesses on a surface like this. I think we could be in for a tightly contested battle. But if I end up taking the over, I'm praying for a tightly contested battle. So I wish you the best of luck, however you approach that one. But I think the play for me would be the over 23 games and that. I could see a tiebreaker in this. I could see a set of piece, maybe even going down to the very end of the third. Who knows? I'd be kind of underwhelmed if either one comes out and drills the other in straight sets. Lean Holger Rune for the set. Lean towards an over. That'll do us for that one. And we'll move on to one that is going to be extremely quick. Although, for the sake of the dog, we will touch on him a little bit. We've got Jannik Sinner and Adrian Mannarino. Quick tip of the cap to Adrian Mannarino. How good's he been? How good has he been over in Cincinnati? He come through qualifying, all in straight sets. He took out Jordan Thompson in straight sets. He bullied everyone as well. He came up against Thomas Mahach, and we pretty much called that one perfectly. Thomas Mahach was not prepared for the game of Adrian Mannarino. In the second round, got fucking bullied 6-3, 6-3. And then the most impressive one, you thought he never stood a chance. No one gave him a slither of a chance in this one, especially after dropping that first set to Tommy Paul. He ends up coming back 6-3, 6-4. Now, we did kind of lean towards Mannarino on the points, purely because of the insanely steep price for Tommy Paul. But I weren't too sure that it was actually going to come through. But in hindsight, I suppose everyone looks like a genius. Fair play to Mannarino. He's tough, man. I told you, if you didn't believe it before, surely you know now. He's tough to deal with. If you're not prepared, he is going to give you a very bad time. But unfortunately for Mannarino, I can't help but feel like his time in Cincinnati is well and truly up. Jannik Sinner. It's Jannik Sinner. He's absolutely destroyed everyone so far. I mean, destroyed Daniel Gallant 6-1, 6-1. We kind of knew that. The game against Gabe Diallo, it started off, the first 5 or 10 minutes was a little bit shaky for the world number one. He comes back and does it 6-2, and then ends up with a tie-break in the second, a lot closer than the first match. I will certainly give that to the Canadian. But it's the same with Mannarino. I mean, how much is he going to do? It's kind of been the story for the majority, if not all, these opponents for Jannik Sinner, especially the big dogs. I would have to assume Jannik Sinner's going to win this match at 1.02. You're not going to go anywhere near it. So if you're seeking value, and the value alone in a spot like this, you are somewhat forced to go with the likes of Adrian Mannarino on the spread. Lean towards a total if you think if you can keep it close. Something along the lines of that. These have played each other 3 times before, all on the hard court. Jannik Sinner's won every single one of them, as we'd expect. Mannarino has won just the one set along the way, and it was around this time in similar conditions in 2022 over in Canada. Just food for thought. You'll get a big spread for Mannarino. I'd be very surprised if he manages to cover it or give Jannik Sinner a good game today. I really would. Be decent to see. It's okay to dream. Imagine if Mannarino takes him out. Imagine that. But anyway, he's a 9-1 dog. That kind of tells you all you need to know. I don't think he's got anything to offer Jannik Sinner today. I really don't. So I'll waste no more time. and we'll move on to this is the other one. I can't figure out what I'm looking forward to most. Francis Tiafoe, Rune, or Felix Auger Aliassime and Benjamin Bonzi. There's something within me that's telling me I think this one may just be the one for me. Maybe because it's involving Benjamin Bonzi. I've really enjoyed watching this guy so far this week. He's been really good. You've got to give him that. 3 sets in all 3 matches. Matteo Arnaldi, it is what it is. Decent match. Lorenzo Musetti, decent performance, and then Stefanos Tsitsipas, equally a decent performance. I mean, what have you got to do? What have you got to do to take out Benjamin Bonzi? Hey, what do you have to do? Because clearly taking the first set off him isn't enough. Clearly taking that first set isn't enough. I'm starting to believe that Benjamin Bonzi's just giving them the first set just to play with them. Just to play with them. He was a break up on Tsitsipas and he went, you know what, mate, don't worry about that. Here's your serve back. As a matter of fact, here's the first set. I guarantee you're not ready for what comes next. And he wasn't. He wasn't. Fantastic. I had the over 22.5 games with Bonzi and Tsitsipas that flew in. And look, he's been decent. There's a couple of things to be said about the current state of the opponents of Benjamin Bonzi. Now, I don't want to be that guy. I'm certainly not taking anything away from him, but Tsitsipas, Musetti and Arnaldi on the hard court on paper, it looks very impressive. But us who watch the tennis every day, we kind of know a thing or two, don't we? Especially about how Musetti's been looking since we've come back to the hard court. Just Lorenzo Musetti's hard court game in general, it's not that great. It's certainly nowhere near as good as he plays on the clay. So fair enough to Bonzi, but Musetti is most definitely there for the taking, we'll say that. And then same against Tsitsipas. Drop that first set, you'd look at everything on paper and you'd say Tsitsipas should be beating Bonzi, Musetti should be beating Bonzi, but Stefanos Tsitsipas has been in quite the rut at the moment, has he not? Guys in the mud, it seems. But once again, you could say he's taken out these, out of form, hampered opponents or whatnot. Or you could say he's showing true grit and doing exactly what you need to do and grinding these matches out. He seems to have a lot more heart than the rest of them, I'll tell you that. Felix Auger-Aliassime looked good against Echeverry. And then he looked equally as good against Artur Rinderknech. Didn't complete the match. Rinderknech had to pull out. I think Felix probably would have done him in straights anyway. He's looking strong. We're no stranger to this style of play from Felix. When he turns up good, he can be very, very hard to beat. Tends to do everything right. Maybe not everything right, but he does everything well. I fail to pick apart Felix's game and go, oh, he's shit at this when you put him up. And I imagine when he faces off with a player like Benjamin Bonzi, he may just look better in every area. May not by much, but if only just slightly. I feel like it still stands 1.35. That's a big favourite. That's a very big favourite for Felix today. I don't know if I fancy that. One thing that is kind of concerning me in this one is the court time. Felix has played a hell of a lot less tennis so far. Bonzi's played 3 games, so not only has he played 1 extra game, they've all went 3 sets as well. Over in the conditions in Cincinnati now, I'm not there. I've never been there, but I imagine it's fucking warm over there. It looks hot. It looks very fucking warm, man. It ain't been easy to finish these games this week. You've got to tip your cap to the players. So maybe fatigue will be a factor. 3 games that have went 3 sets as opposed to 2, and you've played essentially 1 and 3/4, 1.5, something like that. That could be the deciding factor in this one, so I am just a little bit concerned, as you would be. But something that's kind of twisting my arm, something that's kind of making me turn the opposite way. I'm seeing Benjamin Bonzi around 3.2, 3.3. Big dog, once again. Why fix what's not broken? If this is the game where Bonzi turns up and it all goes pear-shaped and he looks like shit, then so be it. I've been very impressed with him. I've been impressed. He's done some bits for me so far this week. I'd quite happily ride the Bonzi train until the wheels fall off. Quite happily. Could have took him as a dog in all 3 of those matches. Actually, I don't know what the price was against Arnaldi. He may have been a dog, he may not have been, don't quote me, but he was certainly a dog in the last 2. And we could have just took him straight up. I've took him on the spread and I've took him on the total. I may just go back to the well. Go back to the well while it's still good. I'd lean towards an over in this one. Maybe an over 22.5. I think the price for that will be mighty fine indeed. If not, Bonzi on the 3.5 on the spread. Just bite the bullet on that one and just pray you can get it done. Like I've said in the previous games, if you are doing a bit of business with Benjamin Bonzi today, it's a nail biter. You're never too sure what's going to go on. There never really seems like a moment, even in the previous 3. He's never really looked truly dominant. There's been plenty of times when you've thought, oh God, he doesn't look like the best player in this match. But look what he's managed to do. True grit. True grit. And I couldn't be happier to see it. This is more like the Benjamin Bonzi that I know exists. This is the guy that I've been harping on about since the end of last season. I hope that he could turn up and give Felix a good go. I think I may just roll the dice on him to do so, either on the spread or lean towards the total. We all know Felix, man. We all know Felix. He ain't exactly the most trustworthy. And at 1.3, this is one of them prices, one of them spots where I've said it for years now. I've said it since the start, since the dawn of the channel. 1.3, 1.4, that's the price you've got to pay for Felix to ruin your day. You look at Felix at a price like that, and more often than not, you go, oh yeah, give me it. He has to win this. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Benjamin Bonzi easily could turn up as the dog in this one and pull off yet another upset. I admit he's going to have a hell of a tougher time against a player like Felix Auger Aliassime on a surface like this, no doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if Felix won. It'd be one of them games. If Felix turns up and does him in 2, I'll go, yeah. It kind of scans. It kind of makes sense. But I'm willing to go a little bit different on this one, I think. Say go a little bit different. We've been going with Bonzi all week. It ain't that different to us, but I don't imagine Benjamin Bonzi would be that much of a popular play today. Lean towards the over, lean towards Bonzi on the spread. If you're super brave, take him to win it straight up. I think I might take the over. I might just lean towards an over and have a little sprinkle on that. Yeah, I just might. So we've got 2 more. Shouldn't take that much more of your time. We've got Taylor Fritz and Terence Atmane. Well done Terence. Quick round of applause, folks, for Terence Atmane. How good's he been? How good has this guy been? 5 games he's played over in Cincinnati. That's some going. That is some going. He had to come through qualifying. Done both of them in straight sets. Took out Nishioka in the first round. I wasn't so convinced he was going to get past the blazing hot Flavio Caboli in the second round. But he had something to say about that. 3 sets. Excuse me. 3 sets is what was needed. But he was more than willing to test the resolve of Flavio Caboli in that one. Terence Atmane 6-4 in the first, 6-3 in the second for Caboli, and then a nice tiebreaker in the third for the French. Happy days. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, we all kind of knew it. The majority of us kind of knew it. We discussed it. I didn't take it. Kind of wish it did, but I know a lot of people did. I seen him beat Flavio Caboli, and I just knew he was going to beat João Fonseca. We said it, didn't we? That price for João Fonseca the other day, 1.2. What's that about? Someone's got some explaining to do, and I don't know who it is, but someone needs to answer for that. Like, this can't go on. This can't go on. Now, fortunately for us, we were more than aware of what to do with that one. We knew João Fonseca. At 1.2, even if he did win that, it was the wrong choice to make. Terence Atmane at that dog price, even on the spread. Easy as you like. 6-3, 6-4. He turned up and just bullied that kid. Bullied him. Fonseca did not stand a chance against Terence Atmane, and I don't care how big of a fan you are, where you're from. If you watch that game, you can't tell me that Fonseca was as good as Terence Atmane. Nowhere near the level. Nowhere near it. It was crazy. Crazy to watch, given some of the performances and the wins that he's had so far in the past. You're watching that. Maybe he's just in a bad bit of form. I don't know, but I said it, didn't I? That return game. The return game of Fonseca is seriously lacking. Seriously lacking, man. It really is. So, I'd love to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and be like, oh, it was a quality win, he turned up, he done that, but Terence Atmane should have been 1.2 in that game. He really should have been. He's been fantastic, but how much weight that win holds, I'm not too sure. But I don't really think it matters. I don't think it matters anymore because now he has to take on Taylor Fritz. And we all know how that usually goes. We all know the story of taking on Taylor Fritz so far this season. It doesn't usually end well. These played each other last year in the Shanghai Masters, and there was 2 tiebreakers on the hard court. Was he playing that good back then, or was Taylor Fritz playing nowhere near at the level that he currently is back then? I'll let you decide. Given the head-to-head, given what I've seen so far from Terence Atmane, I would love to take him on that spread today. I would also love to take that over, because 1.1 with Taylor Fritz, you don't need me to tell you, but there is certainly no business to be done with that. What more do you want me to say on this? I mean, how much can we pick it apart? Big dog, who's been playing really well. He seems to be playing the tennis of his life at the moment. No joke. Taylor Fritz is Taylor Fritz. You can't beat him. Unless you're amongst the best of the best in the field in the tournament. I don't think you're going to beat Taylor Fritz. You can most definitely keep it close. He's played so much tennis, man. Like, when's Taylor Fritz going to drop off? When's he going to get tired? It just doesn't seem like it's happening, does it? I thought it may have happened in the semi-finals against Ben Shelton. He looked a bit worse for wear. But then he's turned up in Cincinnati. He's beat Emilio Nava and Lorenzo Sonego. Easy as you like. You can't do much against the service game of Taylor Fritz, I'm afraid. Sonego kept it mighty close, tie-break in the first and then 7-5 in the second. Do you trust what you've seen with Terence Atmane so far this week? If the answer is yes, then you take him on the spread. You lean towards an over. You'll get a decent price for an over today, I would imagine. If not, just stay away from it. Because if he turns up and gets absolutely beasted by the likes of Taylor Fritz, you probably wouldn't be that surprised in hindsight. But I'd like to trust the dog. I'd like to roll a dice on Terence Atmane once again. I'm not expecting him to win, but I would like him to keep it close. I mean, 5 games. He's won 4 of the 5 in straight sets as well. He's coming out and he's absolutely demolishing people, but you're not going to do that against Taylor Fritz. I wouldn't have thought. Is he going to put that much of a pace and be that aggressive to outplay Taylor Fritz? Is he going to out hit Taylor Fritz? I can't see it. Not many can. Many have tried the past few weeks and many have failed. Even if you are going to beat Taylor Fritz, it's going to be a close one. Given the form of Terence Atmane, given the momentum, nothing to lose. No one probably expects him to even get past Flavio Caboli. So the fact that he's playing Taylor Fritz in the round of 16, you've got to applaud that. You certainly give it a quick tip of the cap. I would lean towards Terence Atmane on the point. More importantly, and over. Either one of them is where the values are, you'd say, but I wouldn't be shocked if Taylor Fritz wins yet another game of tennis. And then we'll wrap this shit up. There's still 1 or 2 yet to be played because of the rain, isn't there? So I know Zverev still playing Benak and whatnot, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But this will be the last one for tonight. Got Francisco Comesana, Andrei Rublev. Comesana, man. Francisco Comesana, he continues to amaze. I'm quite the Comesana fan. I as you well know. Is he going to get past Rublev? He probably stands no business. Probably has no right to get him past Rublev on the hard court, if you'd ask me. But crazier things have happened. I was kind of under the impression that so far, since we've come back to the hard court, Comesana was only taking out these clay court specialists, but no. He dropped the first set to Aliassime, come back, took that second, and then he ended up just doing him in the third as well. Aliassime just broke down in that match. I was very grateful I didn't have a go on that one. Obviously, there was nothing for me on any of them matches yesterday, but Aliassime not being able to get past Comesana at home on these quick conditions, I don't know. You tell me what you think about that. I don't want to take nothing away from Comesana because he played an absolute belter, but Aliassime, man, I mean, as soon as he gets out to that first set, you're just on borrowed time, aren't you? That guy's a ticking time bomb. It's inevitable. He inevitably gets worse. The longer that match goes on, he gets worse and worse and worse to the point where you're not even halfway through the second set and he doesn't even run for balls. He's not even running for an easy ball that you could at least get a fucking backhand to. It's it's bad for business. He's kind of always been bad for business. Aliassime has been decent this season, but he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He's so one-dimensional, and if all fails, if that serve fails, he's rendered quite useless in my opinion. Didn't hold up too well in the heat against Comesana. But that's Aliassime, innit? That's Aliassime. How are you going to get on against Andrei Rublev? He had a decent match against Alexei Popyrin. Could have went either way. A lot of us thought Popyrin stood more than enough of a chance to get that one done. And he took a set. We said it, didn't we? Popyrin for a set would have been the way. That's exactly what he done. Unfortunately, didn't have the minerals to see that one through in the end. Rublev's beat Lane Etienne in the first game and then Popyrin in the second. That one against Lane Etienne, although it was the revenge spot, it holds little or next to no weight for me. Even though it was the revenge game, he shouldn't have even been beat by Lane Etienne over in Washington. That was a fucking disgrace. But it is what it is. Comesana, look, he's playing good and he's serving well as well. You wouldn't have believed it, would you? Remember we said it seems like statistically Comesana's first serve is more effective than Apelka's leading into that match, and I thought, that can't be right. But the numbers don't lie. First serve was fucking immaculate against Aliassime, it was. Smoked him out. Like, what are you going to do? We're all sitting here thinking Aliassime is going to come and just ace the shit out of him. Absolutely not. I'm going to ace the shit out of you. You fucking deal with that. What are you going to do with it? Absolutely not. I'm just going to gas out and then stand there like a statue, end up moving like a fucking claymation figure halfway through the second set. Good stuff from Comesana. He's got that grit, he's got that dog in him, he's got the gas, he's got the work rate. He pretty much possesses everything that one would need to be one of the best. He really does. His clay game's good. He's got a very deceiving hardcourt game. Very deceiving hardcourt game as well. And maybe not too much on the grass. He could probably touch up a bit on that. The hardcourt game of Comesana is much better than what I would give it credit for. But it's still probably nowhere near the level of an Andrei Rublev. These have played each other once before. That was last year on the grass. Just what I'm saying, his grass game could do with a bit of touching up. He fucking beat him. He beat Andrei Rublev in Wimbledon last year 3-1. That's right. 6-4. Dropped the second set 6-5. Come back 6-2 and then a tiebreaker in the fourth. Sweet as a nut. He's beaten before. And what I've said all week, I'm kind of going to probably just stick to this rule until I'm led to believe otherwise, but 1.2 is the price you're going to have to pay for Andrei Rublev today. Been saying it all week. Every Rublev match feels somewhat of a 50-50. This one doesn't feel as much as a 50-50 as the previous one against Alexei Popyrin. I'll admit that. I do think Rublev stands a hell of a lot of a better chance rather, to take out a player like Comesana. But he needs to be ready, man, because Comesana doesn't get tired. It doesn't look like he gets tired. It looks like he's got bags and bags of energy. He's got gas for days. But at that point now, with 3 games in, we're in around the 16. This is usually the point where Rublev does his thing. You know, his MK Ultra handler activates him from a fucking Soviet bunker somewhere across the world, and he just forgets how to play tennis. Could you trust him at 1.2? Absolutely not. He needs to win. This is one of them matches where, you know, he's pretty much expected to win this one. I wouldn't have taken anything away from him or held it against him if he'd have lost to Popyrin, because it was a bit of a dangerous spot. This one against Comesana, although he beat him on the grass, 1.2. You know, just going off what the odds are telling us, you'd say Comesana has no right to beat Andrei Rublev on the hard court, but it doesn't really work out like that on the ATP Tour. Comesana just needs a few solid games, and he'll put the shit in it on Andrei Rublev 100%. You'll get a massive spread for the Argentine today. I'm expecting around 4.5. I'm expecting that total that total price to be nice at around 22.5 as well. Providing the price is right, I may be very tempted to sprinkle on an over, maybe very tempted to sprinkle on Comesana plus the points on the spread there, plus the games rather. He's been serving too good. He's been serving too good, man. If you can just stay consistent, if you can stay solid and stand behind the serve like that, you'll definitely cover a 4.5, mark my words. Probably send this one over. Knowing Rublev, you'll probably take a set. Oh, fuck me, you may even beat him. You may even beat him just when everyone thinks you won't. So it's food for thought. Please do let me know your suggestions on that one. Lean towards an over. Lean towards Comesana on the spread. But very well. Very well, and folks, that is going to do us once again. I won't be saying good night to you. It's actually 8 a.m. over here because of the rain and the matches last night. It was like 2 a.m. and I thought, fuck it, I couldn't be arsed getting up doing a video for the sake of a few hours. So wait till the morning. I imagine most of you will still be fast asleep by now, but let me know what time you're watching this by the time you do end up watching it. Is it the morning? Is it the night? Is it just the same as where I am here? You know, do you just live around the fucking corner and it's still 8 a.m? I'm interested to know. Get yourself involved, share with the group. But have yourselves a good day and top of the morning to you. Right then, take it easy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. It's the most important thing. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you stopping by. You know, you all mean a lot to me. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. Get your comments in with your predictions, anything I'm going for today will be in that pinned comment where it always is, rather. Can't fuck up right now. It's too late to fuck up right at the end. But yeah, you do with the pinned comment what you will. Take it if you want, leave it what you must. But please do be sure to get yourself involved. You know, share with the group. We all appreciate the advice, and we all sure as hell appreciate them winners. That's right. But I'll be seeing you around, folks. Best of luck today. Enjoy the tennis today, and I'll see you tomorrow.